just got unhacked.
Yes, it is true, my channel was hacked, but I do have it back now, and this video is going to be going over what I did to get that back and what you guys can do to prevent it from happening in the first place. So I really hope that my hacker is still watching this video, because maybe he can learn a few lessons about some mistakes that he made, and other than that, we'll be set. The day is January 22nd. I awake to a message. Tapport. Tapport, it says. Tapport. My eyes creak open, and I am awakened! I go to my computer, and I say, what? Now, when I saw who the message was from, I instantly knew what this was going to be about, and the person replies, I have some of your stuff. A whole lot of your stuff. And he then explains to me that he has my email, and he wants 2 CSGO items that I have, a knife and an op skin totaling about, I don't know, maybe 200 plus, but very slight plus. And that he wants those in order for him to give me the account back. Now, that's an obvious no. It's not about the value of the items, I could care less, but it's more that there's zero security in trusting that if I give him those items, I get my account back. And if he's the type of scumbag to try and extort someone for a Google account, then he's also the type of scumbag who will just turn around and just disappear once they have their items. So the point is, that was not going to be an option. So I had no account, and of course my first idea is to try to sign into it. Of course it doesn't work, because first thing he does is change the password to the account. I try a recovery option, and he has enabled 2-step verification, which I will go into a little bit later. And he has changed basically all the information on the account, essentially locking me out. I had tried Google's recovery program, which will be linked down below, just like everything else I'll be mentioning. And even that requires 2-step verification. So I simply tried the next best option, which was there's an option to ask another question, which I did, and that got me through to just be able to submit a little bit more information, such as when I made the email in question, and what the situation was, why I was locked out of it. And on his side, for some reason, Google sends, well, it does make sense, but Google does send a confirmation to a secondary account that's linked to the email and says, hey, we got this request for a new email. Was this you? If not, you can click cancel. And that's what he was doing. He kept clicking cancel. I don't know if Google actually says, okay, we won't talk about it because you said no. I think Google is smart enough to realize that that's just obviously what someone would be able to do, and what someone obviously would do if they understood how that works. I was told on the Google product forums that just because he clicks cancel doesn't mean it necessarily is going to be canceled, which leads me to my next step. So after he had sent me follow-up messages saying, I canceled it, by the way, I found out that there's a thing called Google product forums. I believe that's the name, because Google does not actually have any direct support for its free tools such as Gmail, Google itself, the search engine, Google Docs, anything like that, any of the free Google Drive even. They don't provide support for any of their free products like that. So the next best option is to use Google support forums, or Google product forums, I'm pretty sure that's what it's called, which is run by Google and maintained by just volunteers who don't necessarily have any connection to Google, but just understand their products on a higher level than most people. So I made a post there explaining my situation, and I got a reply from someone who I had seen tons while looking for other solutions, and he asked me to explain a little bit more and see what the situation was. And he told me he would try to get in touch with someone who does work at Google, explain the situation, and see what the update is on the account. 2 days later, last night, the 24th, I get an email after work, as I'm just about to leave, that says, your account has been returned to you to the email provided. So I get home, lo and behold, the account is mine again. So today we are going to go over what I did to get my account back in a little bit more depth, what you can do to prevent the account from being stolen in the first place, and just some general good tips that you should know. So, of course, first thing I did, I tried to sign in. That didn't work. He changed the backup email, but you should still try that. Forgot your password, blah, 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 and see if whoever had hijacked your account has not changed that, which, if they know anything, they will have already. Next best option, which is going to be linked down below as well as everything else, is the recovery form, which you can fill out and have that processed. And then the last step, which you can do these all within like an hour, it doesn't matter. You'll probably get your account back faster if you do it all within an hour, is to make a post on the Google product forums. That way you kind of have a voice. People know that it's your account and they know how to contact you. And you will probably hear back from the guy who helped me, because I have seen him there on posts from months and months and months ago. So he is pretty active. It seems like he probably checks it nightly. So another thing is to never, ever, ever have Google remember your passwords. The way my hacker got that information was through Google's cache, which saves your username and your password. He's able to take that, and suddenly he just has the password for everything that Google has ever remembered, which is handy because no one likes to sign in all the time. But what Google actually does is it caches it for the session. So if you have your browser open, you sign into Google, and you're watching some YouTube. If you close that tab and come back later, it'll still be signed in. It's just once you close your browser that it'll be gone and you'll have to sign in again. So keep that in mind. It's not as bad as it sounds, and it gives you a whole lot of security. The next thing is to try and use multiple emails for multiple things. So benroish1, which is my email, is connected to a lot of things. It's much better practice to have multiple emails and just allocate that email to certain things. So, for example, benroish1 could be my Twitter and my YouTube. benroish2 could be my Facebook, my Facebook and my SoundCloud. I don't know. And continue to do that. Another obvious thing is to choose a secure password. In my case, it wouldn't have mattered. My password could be 100 characters long. He would still have it. It doesn't matter. But that's always a good step to take. And lastly, Google does offer, and as well as a bunch of other things like Blizzard, Steam, they all offer two-step authentication, which is I try to sign in, something gets sent to my phone, and I can enter that way. The good thing about that is you will always have something physical that someone else will need. In most cases, there's always workarounds in today's world. There's always workarounds. But for the most part, especially when you're dealing with script kiddies like I was, they will not have the ability to gain access, and Google will notify you, and you'll be able to see that someone's trying to sign into your stuff, and you can deal with that a lot quicker than you could otherwise, just by finding out that your account got lost or checking your email one day and seeing that Google prevented suspicious activity. Anyway, so those are the main steps. This video is already way too long. I don't want to keep going. Secure your accounts, people. I will have links down below to everything I use to help you get my account back. If you lose your account and you're watching this for that reason, there is still hope. Just keep trying. Google understands that there's shitty people in the world who steal accounts from you and do things like that. Google will help you. It's just a little bit hard to get through to them, and it just takes a little bit of effort. You're not going to get your account back within the hour in most cases, but it's very hard for a hacker to totally disguise themselves as you. IP addresses are going to change. There's just things that won't add up, and in no time it'll be pretty obvious to Google once they know what your situation is, and you will get your account back 99% of the time. Other than that, it's been AK Tapport. It's great to be back. I hope you enjoyed this video. It probably won't apply to most of you, but keep all this stuff in mind. It's good practice. And we are out. Peace.